Okay, I get it. You have a life, you work, you do a 9 to 5, I do a 9.
Hi friend, I actually made a video somewhere related to this. We're basically already in 1984, the book by Orson Welles. So at this point, the only move the rest of us have is to work on this, on our head. To deconstruct all of the biases, the phobias, the isms, all these different things, so that we can do not necessarily what you're suggesting, because in my opinion, we don't need that. There's so much power in just our consumption alone, redirecting our money to specific places. Yes, the elites own a lot, but there's still ways to kind of move the needle here and there. But more importantly, even if we were to approach your, to go with your approach, here's the thing. Please do some research. Nixon, a president in the 70s, if you're not aware who he is, had a program where the government had infiltrated a lot of social movements and to destroy them from inside without any bloodshed, to have them infighting. Does that sound familiar to you? That being said, today, if you're going to do anything, the first thing we need to do, and again, you don't need weapons, you don't need none of that. You don't need to go to the streets and get pitchforks and all this stuff. You don't need any of that. I promise you. People like Martin Luther King in your community and people like Gandhi and other peaceful people prove that it can be done without lifting a finger. That by you to do, you the collective, to do malicious compliance or uncomplying, you can do a lot of damage. It makes them embarrassed as fuck, incompetent as fuck, to look incompetent as fuck. So you don't actually need to do any of that, but you can still organize. The only issue right now is that in order to organize, you have to look out for the pettiness between people, because sometimes I can assure you, you guys have brought this term up, Gen Z, psyops. They are everywhere. It's not a conspiracy theory. Nixon was the first to do this, to introduce this type of stealth, to go into social movements to destroy them. We saw it with the bi women, the trans bi women, bi men. Probably bi women will be next. I wouldn't be surprised. We saw it with the voicemail. Now we're seeing with Drew and trans women. And if you're not aware, there's a lot of bot accounts, conservative accounts, some of them spearheaded and funded by Project 25, their creators, the Heritage Fund, to create division within the left side. Don't you find it kind of odd that within this last year, as we're approaching the midterms, there's been so much upheaval within the left side? It's all strategy, my friends. So the first thing I suggest to the entire collective, including conservatives, because they're being played too, is to work up here. Go to therapy, go to 12 steps, to Emotions Anonymous specifically, open up self-books around self-talk. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because as you are raising your discernment, your critical thinking, and I'm not saying you don't have it, I'm saying that you can always improve it a little bit more. As you're raising your EQ, all are similar terms, just used by different people. But as you're raising that, you will be able to read people much, much better than you do right now. That goes for the entire collective, not you specifically. I personally am able to read people because in order to keep myself safe because of trauma, learn to stay 10 steps ahead. So I suggest that the entire collective focus a little bit of time on looking inward first, so that when we do come together for any kind of movement, even what you're proposing, that we are not sidetracked by the people who are planted in our social movements and they crumble from inside. The purple revolution was another example of this. I can assure you, even though they were across the aisle, there were psyops right in there doing their dirty work, putting doubt in people's minds. But if you work on that discernment, you will catch on pretty quickly when somebody's trying to play you. Right? So look at some of my other work. That's what my work revolves around: changing hearts and minds from within, so that we're no longer being played. Because right now we're being played within the left, within the right, within the left and the right, across gender issues, within the LGBT community, within even within women's. They're being divided by cis women and trans women. You know, every single thing that you can think of, even across race, they're pitching us against one another. And a lot of these white nationalists, they're no angels, but I can assure you they were played first. And being convinced from the beginning, from unscrupulous people, that they have to blame somebody else. If all of you go through Project 25, all of this stuff happening was said right there, which is the most cynical part that these type of people can do. They actually announced themselves what they were going to be doing. And if you read between the lines, precisely what's going on right now, leading it into the midterms, this is exactly what they want, for all of us to be divided. So don't give them that pleasure. Check your triggers whenever you're engaging with anybody on whatever issue it may be, even as asinine as, is the pen blue or red? Because I assure you that is some asshole that's working with somebody who has something to gain. They're under their payroll. They're inserting themselves in a lot of conversations that they don't belong to. They don't even care. Some people you've already started to already see that they are performative. They're only in it for the clicks, so they will say anything as outrageous as they want, and who knows, they may be on the payroll too. So don't lend yourself to these type of people, because you're doing exactly what they want. They want you in the streets doing this so that they have a justification, like many in the black community have pointed out, so that they come out with their guns, their tanks, and whatever. Don't give them the satisfaction of that. Don't fall for it.